Uncomfortable progress. I was thinking about a quote Denzel Washington gave in one of his speeches a while back. In the speech, he says his wife once told him, "To get what you never had, you have to do something you never did." Now, I love that quote because it applies to every part of our lives. Whatever our goals are, it's difficult to achieve them unless we're not afraid to step out of the box, out of the comfort zone. Like I said, I think this principle applies to our relationships, our businesses, our bodies, everything. Too much comfort can be a growth stunner. Think about it. If Michael Jordan had been like, "Nah, I'm good enough. I don't need to push any harder," a lot of y'all would be wearing different shoes right now. If DJ Kool Herc had said, "I know they like the drum beats in the song, but I'm comfortable playing it just as it is," hip-hop may have never existed. You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, some amazing things have happened on accident, it's true. But I'm confident in saying the majority of growth and innovation that happens within every field comes from people not being afraid to do something different. And it works the other way too. I think it was Henry Ford who said, "If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got." I'd like to give another example, this time a personal one. Years ago, I started a side gig working as an extra. Yes, I was one of the random people walking around in the background of some of your favorite Korean films and dramas. Anyway, I remember one day I was working on a film called Big Match about a Korean MMA fighter. My role was random crowd member number 41. I gave myself that number just because. I had finished shooting my part, so at that point I was just waiting for the casting director to let us leave. In the meantime, I went to hang out in the green room where some of the sub-actors were preparing for their scenes. One of my friends and training partners was a fighter in the movie, so they let me chill with him and help him to warm up. Suddenly, boom, the casting director burst into the green room and asked me, "Jack, can you act?" For real, I wanted to say, "If you mean act crazy, yeah. If you mean be an actor, nah." But since I couldn't find all the words I needed to say in Korean, I just kind of said, "Huh?" They told me that one of the sub-actors who was supposed to be a referee in the movie was a no-show, and they offered me the chance to replace him. Now mind you, at the time, I wasn't interested in acting at all. It was just something I was doing to make grocery money. Plus, I wasn't really comfortable on camera. I used to work for one of the largest media organizations in the world, but I was always somewhere behind the camera, never in front. The very idea of me being on camera made me uncomfortable. I came up with all kinds of stories in my head. I wasn't in the best shape at the time. I needed some dental work. I just wasn't prepared. And most of all, I'm not an actor. I really just wanted to say no and go back out there with the rest of the extras until the shoot was over. But something inside of me told me to just go with it. So as uncomfortable as I was, I did. And it went okay, other than me stepping on the main actor's already broken foot, causing them to have to stop the shoot for an hour so they could ice it. But in spite of that mishap, the agency was very thankful for me stepping in at the last minute and ended up casting me for speaking roles in several movies and dramas later. Eventually, and without me even realizing it, I actually fell in love with acting. I made a career out of it. For several years, I worked with some of Korea's top actors and actresses, as well as a couple top Hollywood actors. This wouldn't have happened if I hadn't decided to let myself be uncomfortable, push past my discomfort, and try something new. So anyway, all I'm saying is stepping out there and thinking outside of the box, even when it's uncomfortable to do so, is a big key to growing and moving forward. So fight your fears, take the first step, and make uncomfortable progress.